Okay, so sorry for messing up. So I will talk a little about the organic market in Sweden and how we use public means and public intervention to promote organic production. And there we have had many governmental goals and many periods when we have supported organic throughout the last decades. But the last ones was born in when the food strategy was born in 2017, and quite ambitious goals. It's to that the share of organic of total agricultural land shall amount to 30% in 2030, and the same year 60% of organic food purchased into the public sector should be organic. So quite ambitious, as you can see. And the Ministry of Agriculture has given assignments to the Swedish Board of Agriculture, where I work. And the first one we got was to identify needs on the market and propose measures. And that we did together with, a big number of organic actors. And this report, or this action plan, was born in, was produced in 2017-18. And the minister also told us to create an organization, how to work with this action plan. It's important that it's not only the Swedish Board of Agriculture and the ministry that is working with this. We need to involve all the private actors on the market, so we do it together because they have the knowledge and the will to work with this. And our role is also to grant national aid to projects and activities. We have a budget, and it has this far amounted to about 12.5 million euro. So it's quite a good budget. It's not, it cannot, rescue everything on the market, but it's been really useful to, for projects to be able to start and so on. And what does the action plan say? The main aim with it is to promote production, consumption, and exports of organic products. And it also, it's very important that the increased consumer demand based on knowledge should be a driving force in organic expansion. So we don't just, put a lot of money in the primary production and then nobody wants to buy the products. So we need to make consumers aware of why they should buy organic and why it's good for themselves and for the planet and so on. And we also need to do, have action in all the parts of the value chain, from the market and private consumption, the public consumption, processing and industry, the primary production, the farm level. We need to have a lot of communication because we want to learn consumers why they should buy organic and why it's good for the planet, and research and development, exports, and so on. And this I have already said, but I can also say that many of these 100 projects that we have financed this far should never have been started at all because they couldn't afford if we hadn't given, this financial aid. And of course, we encourage cooperation between several actors so that not everybody's working on their own and, doesn't look around and cooperate. And one thing that is important is that we, because it's money from the state, that we do not allow polarized information. That the aim is not to say that you should buy organic and everything else is just bad. You have to be, science-based and objective when you send out your messages. And this is how we are a little bit organized. We have the Ministry of Agriculture in Stockholm. They give us the assignments and they have the funding. And I work at the Swedish Board of Agriculture. That's 330 kilometers southwest of Stockholm, where we are about 1,500 employees. And we are responsible for granting aid in line with the action plan. We do all the administration, we take all the decisions, and then we report back to the ministry. And then we have the organic actors all over Sweden, from farm to fork. And they apply for aid, they run projects, they report to the Swedish Board of Agriculture, and we have a dialogue in various forums just to learn each other what is going on and spread the word. And then at last, the target groups of all these project activities, and these are the consumers, the food industry, the farmers, different interest groups, local authorities, and the export market, and so on. And as always, we have a reference group that is, kind of giving us input and keep an eye on us. And these are some examples what we have done. For example, we have financed about 40 research and development projects since 2018. 7 projects producing market reports. We have 6 communication projects and 1 big consumer information campaign. We have 4 projects focused on the public sector, and so on. It's just to show that we are in many areas. And this is one example that is easy to show with a picture. A brand new website has been built up by the Sweden's Agriculture University. It's called Ecofacta, Facts About Organic, if we translate to English. And here you can find that they collect everything that is happening on the organic, in the organic field. It says here from the left, statistics and market, branding and control, organic food from farm to fork. What does research say, science and research say about organic, and for professionals? So a lot of the other projects in our assignment, they put their material here, their information, and a lot more. So here we can find all possible information about organic. And then we have this one big information campaign that has been run since 2018. I think it was inspired by Organic September in the UK. That was started long before we did. And this project is run by Organic Sweden. And it's been quite successful, but it's very difficult to reach, the retail chains on the central level. They want to do their own campaigns. So it's been more, focused on reaching individual stores. So there's still some way to go before we reach the goal, I think, with this campaign. And a third campaign is run by the Swedish Organic Producer Organization with friends. And they produce yearly reports. It's very important with statistics and with market information. And there has been some, spots where we didn't have very good market information before. So they do these reports on prices and on the public sector, on retail level and farm level, direct sales, everything you can find here. And they also do these quarterly updates. And this is the benchmarking project in the public sector. We have 290 municipalities in Sweden, and the aim with this project is to, they can, be inspired by each other and not compete, but, kind of a little bit compete maybe, who has the highest organic share. And in Sweden, the average share of organic in municipalities, in public kitchens is 38%. So there are some municipalities that reach 100% and some that are, below the average, of course. And in this picture, you can see the Swedish prince, Carl Philip Bernadotte. So a lot of celebrities are engaged in this activity. Okay, a little bit about how the market is doing when it comes to organic. We measure how we, take steps towards these governmental goals. And as you can see here, the governmental assignment was born in 2017-18. And that we had very high increases both in public kitchens and on agricultural land long before this assignment. And after the assignment was born and we started to work, it's been going down. So it's quite sad. But as we all know, the winds haven't blown in the right direction on the bigger market. There are very strong forces that work against organic at the moment, actually. And of course, also in Sweden, we have had high shares, and the closer you get, to the top, it's getting tougher, to increase. So we at least think, we are sure that our projects, they have done a lot of good things, and the work has been, it's been possible to keep up the good work with the money that they have received from us. And we also have good statistics to show how the primary production develops in Sweden. And here you see the organic shares of total production for some main sectors in the primary production. So it's quite high numbers, except for pork and broiler, of course, where it's difficult to turn to become organic. One example I wanted to raise here, that the share of organic beef in retail stores is only 6.5% compared to 15.3% at farm level. So what happens with the difference? Well, one explanation could be that we have an increase in direct sales from straight from farm to consumer. It's quite common when in organic beef production. But we also know that the low demand from consumers on some products, for some products, explain why retail stores decide to sell them as conventional instead of organic, even though they were produced organically. And this is a survey done by Från Sverige. It's food from Sweden. They ask consumers what is most important for them when they buy food, and every consumer could choose two alternatives. And the result is that Swedish origin is the most important value when you buy food, and the least important aspect is organic, which is that's a bit sad, and it's been also going down for the last 5 years. Sales of organic products have gone up in all sectors. I want to show you some sales channels. These are grocery stores. We sell for about 20 billion Swedish crowns in 2021. And the share of organic of total sales is 7% at retail level. If we go to the Swedish liquor monopoly, Systembolaget, the share of organic is 16%. So it's quite popular to buy. Consumers like to buy organic wine and organic beer. In the public sector, it's a smaller sector, only 3.7 billion Swedish crowns. The share of organic is 38%, that I've told you before. And at the private restaurant level, 7%, the same as the in retail level. But it's obvious that we have had big increases since 2004. And what has happened the last couple of the last year? I told you about these market reports that Swedish Organic Producer Organization is producing, and this shows that during the present crisis that we're in the middle of at the moment, and the prices are increasing, of course, because of the inflation. So we see that in the value, the sales of all food has increased so far this year by 5.1%, but sales in value of organic food has gone back by 2.1%. So there is only one conclusion, that there are lost market shares for organic food. So the 7% share 2021 will probably become lower for 2022. And here, this is in Swedish, but good pictures will make it possible for you to understand what the figures show. That we have very high organic shares in sales, for example, for egg, wine, carrots, baby food, and fresh herbs. It's also quite high for milk and onions, cucumbers, potatoes, and so on. But a bit lower, for example, for cheese and bread. So there are, big differences between different products. And I want to sum up with some key factors that I think affect the organic market in Sweden today. And on the minus side, in the Swedish media, the tendency has been that the loudest arguments are negative to organic, even though there are, like scientific reports and results from research and so on that show both good and bad things about organic. The media tend to, do the headlines on the bad things. For example, here that when we produce, we need a lot more farmland to produce organic, so we cannot feed the whole world if we produce organic. So it's been for a couple of years like that now. And we see also that there are competing trends when it comes to food. Like 15 years ago, if you wanted to be sustainable as a consumer, you bought organic. Today you can buy vegetarian food. You should buy it from the local, farmer. Climate smart and Swedish origin. And in our, in the assignment, we think that it would be possible to combine these values. You could, to tell consumers that my product is it's local and it's climate smart and it's organic, but now they rather compete with each other. It's a bit sad. And we also see much fewer campaigns for organic food from retail stores. I think it's half as many campaigns for organic today compared to 2 years ago. So they put their market money on their information money for campaigns on other things. And of course, households have less money today. They cannot afford to buy the most expensive alternatives. And there is still a bit of a price difference, even though prices for organic and conventional food has become much more even. So, of course, it's a natural consequence of the situation we are in right now with the higher prices that you have to save money. And we also see that there is a low knowledge about organic values at consumer level. A lot of people, they don't have the right information when they make their decision. And also declining profitability in the primary sector. A lot of farmers decide to become conventional farmer again today. And on the plus side, we have these ambitious political goals for organic, both in Sweden and in the EU. So there is a pressure from the political side level. And as I showed you before, at the Systembolaget, it's very popular to buy organic beer and wine, and it's still growing, the sector that is growing the most, I think, for the moment. Direct sales of organic food from farm is also increasing. Export, we see an export potential on markets that are not, saturated the same way as the Swedish market seems to be at the moment. And also the pandemic and the ongoing crisis have shown that organic production, it is more circular and you are less dependent on imported means. So that's a big strength, and organic actors are using this in their information at the moment. You don't need to import, fertilizer from Russia and so on. Well, that was everything from me. If you have any questions, I will try to answer them.